Welcome back to our channel. We have had a little bit of pressure to do another video by one of Sheila's friends in particular.
You know who you are.
So here we are. We decided that we would film an update video. The reason we haven't filmed is because there has been no news. So
Yeah.
pretty much our update is about the stress of having no news and what that has done to us. But we are 6 weeks and 5 days pregnant today. And we have our scan coming up soon.
Sooner than
What we originally
we planned,
Yeah.
because we couldn't wait that long.
Yeah, so basically what happened after our last video, you will have seen me, well, I actually cut out a lot of me getting quite frustrated with the news that we got. Obviously it was good news that we...
That was one of the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs. Stop. Sorry. So at the end of our last video, you'll have seen that I was a little bit frustrated with the news that we got. Obviously it was great news in terms of getting a great beta, and we were really surprised, and that was really exciting. But the clinic kind of saying that now we wait to our 8-week scan, and at the time we were only not even 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was pretty much a 4-week wait.
Yeah.
Which we hadn't expected at all.
Yeah.
We just, from everybody else's stories and from people we know,
Yeah.
we expected at least a couple more blood tests and
Or
maybe
something.
an earlier scan or yeah.
And I think like I don't know why I feel the need to like justify myself, but I want to clarify that the thing that was annoying me was that we haven't had our expectations set up particularly well, because they don't want to think about the next step, because they're scared then that if the next step doesn't work out. So when we were asking like, oh, what will happen after that blood test, they were like, oh, let's just wait and see the blood test and then we'll work it out. So they would never say to us, okay, so if that goes well, then this is what would happen, or if it doesn't,
and with these outcomes you do this.
Because they just don't want to go down that road with you, which I do understand, because there's so many different outcomes. But for us, it was a little bit weird that a lot of pressure was put on the 2-week wait, it's going to be like crazy. And then the 2-week wait actually wasn't too bad because we could test and we could see the line get darker. Obviously it wasn't too bad for us because we were lucky and positive. But after that, then we had like a 3.5 week wait and we can't test because it just says positive. It doesn't kind of help us to know, is everything still going well, or what does it mean?
Progressing the way it's supposed to. I think that's where you get stuck. So
this is a whole new wait with no information, and it's hard. It's really hard.
It has been really hard.
So what we did was we started looking into private scans. This probably won't surprise you if you know either of us at all, personally or through these videos. And by private, like we already work with a private clinic, but we were talking about additional private scans that we would pay extra for.
A clinic that does scanning effectively.
Yeah. And it's not too expensive, like it's affordable in terms of
30 quid, wasn't it?
That was the deposit, yeah. I think it was going to be 60 for the actual scan, or 58 or something for an early pregnancy scan. But the £30 deposit you would lose if you cancelled it. So we started looking at that, and we actually, on a bit of a whim, because the only available appointment was on 6 weeks exactly, and they won't scan you before 6 weeks because it's too early. So even an early pregnancy scan is from 6 weeks, because before that they don't have a heartbeat, they can't see a lot, you know, it's not visible to with a camera and stuff. So we actually booked a scan for our 6-week day exactly, which would have been Monday, last Monday,
week,
so 5 days ago. And we then
we messaged the clinic, didn't we, and said,
we booked the 6-week scan. Then we started panicking because that was on a whim one night. It was late, we were tired, we booked it, we went to sleep, we woke up the next morning being like, I started Googling 6-week scans. It was really ambivalent. Like people were saying I didn't see a heartbeat because it was only 6 weeks. I went back next week and it was fine. But that whole week was so stressful. And so then I
got a bit freaked out about the idea of going to a new clinic. Like if it was bad news or if there was something wrong, and then the thought of then having to phone the other clinic and say we've just done this and they told us this, and I got quite in my head about that one. Yeah,
you did. You were much worse. I was like, let's just go and see, but Sheila was very much like, no. So then I had a brainwave, which was, let's ring the clinic or message the clinic and explain that we are anxious, that we did lie a little bit because I messaged them and I said, we're considering booking an early scan. We'd already booked it, but they didn't need to know that. And I just said, like, you know, we'd rather do this with you guys. Do you offer the opportunity for us to have an earlier scan. We are really nervous, etc. She then actually rang us on a Sunday morning, which was we were not expecting.
On a Sunday morning.
I answered it being like, hello, didn't even know who it was not expecting the call at all. And she explained that like there's nothing to worry about and this is all normal and it's going to be fine and we had a good beta and there's not, and I was like, I know there's nothing to worry about, but we are a little bit worried.
It was a little bit, I was going to say condescending, I don't know if that's the right word, but just a little bit like
dismissive of the feelings. Dismissive. So obviously she does this all day every day. She's probably right, there's probably nothing to worry about, but so she was just like, I don't understand why you're stressed. Despite that, I kind of pushed, if I'm honest, and she did agree to move our scan forward 1 week. Yeah. So she moved it to 7 weeks instead of 8 weeks. So based on that, we were like, do you know what? For the sake of 1 extra week, let's not do the 6 week scan, because we're in all likelihood we'll have to do a 7 week scan anyway, because at 6 weeks we may not be able to see anything.
Yeah, and even if we did the 6 week one with the private clinic, we would still have to do the 7 week one with our own clinic, and then if we're going to pay to do a private one, maybe we should pay to do it somewhere else where it would make sense, where we had a longer gap rather than just a week. So. Well,
what worked in our favour was I messaged the scanning clinic and explained the situation and just said, look, our own clinic have now agreed to move our scan forward. Like, is there anything we can do about that? Because I wasn't sure if we would just lose the £30 or like what would happen. But they were so nice. They got back immediately. Like, it's no problem whatsoever if you want to move it. So we moved that to 9 weeks just for now anyway, because we thought like if the 7 week scan goes well, 7 to 12 weeks is another long time.
Yeah, I think that'll get easier.
Yeah.
If we've got like, if 7 week scan goes okay.
Yeah, but not easy enough. Like we would still struggle to wait 5 more weeks. Like we just would. So anyway, because they would let us and it meant we didn't lose the money, we moved it. So we now have a scan booked at 9 weeks exactly. Well, 7 weeks exactly with our own clinic, 9 weeks exactly with the scanning early pregnancy clinic, and then 12 weeks will be hopefully our NHS scan if everything goes well. So that was a big kind of hullabaloo, but as a result, we have not been scanned yet. We are waiting for this scan on Monday, the day after tomorrow. And it has been hard. It has been hard. I have probably done better in this wait than you have, like as the reverse to last time. So in the 2 week wait, I was way more anxious. I was like Googling, I was on Instagram, as you know, if you watched the video. I was really kind of stressy, whereas actually now I feel quite settled a lot of the time, and you are definitely more worried.
Well, I persuaded us to do a pregnancy test again.
Yeah, we did do another one. When was that at? 6 weeks?
Yeah, because we wanted to see if it was one of those digital ones, so we wanted to see if it changed from saying 2 to 3 weeks to 3+ weeks, because that's what it should have been. And we did it on a Wednesday, and we would have changed weeks on the Tuesday. Monday, yeah.
Yeah, so we would have been like 5 weeks. Or was it? It wouldn't be 6 weeks. I think it was this week. Yeah, we must have been 5 weeks and 2 days, which should be
on the scanner 3+ weeks. Yeah, because it's not counting the 2 weeks beforehand.
I don't know. We got confused. We did work that out, and it was right anyway. And it showed 3+, and that helped. That got you another bit.
I was okay. I mean, I'd like to do another one, but I've also read a lot of stuff about how they're not that accurate, and lots of people do 2 and one says 3+, and the next one says 2 to 3, and that would freak me out. If we did one like tonight and it said 2 to 3, I would be in a spiral until Monday. So I'm being very good and not going down that route. But
we've been doing a lot of, well, actually probably you more so, and this is probably what doesn't really help. You've been doing a lot of symptom spotting.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to, because like, there's no way to know that you're pregnant. Like, you pee on a stick and it says you're pregnant, but simples. But you don't know you're pregnant. Like, it's hard. I know that when it implanted, or just after the transfer, I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant, and I did have this feeling of, yes, I'm pregnant, which is probably just nonsense.
Wishful thinking.
I did say that, but I've kind of doubted it since, am I? But it doesn't feel the same today, and this bit's a bit different, or I feel sicker today than I did yesterday. I don't feel sick for 2 days in a row, and I felt sick before, and it's really, really hard not to question everything or the lack of anything.
Yeah.
And then you're on the internet and you read other people's stories and you hear about their symptoms, and they're like, oh, they sound much worse symptoms than I've got. Like, what does that mean? And I find that really difficult, because you don't know what to gauge it against. You don't know when people say morning sickness and you might feel a bit nauseous. Okay, I think I felt a bit nauseous, but I've never been inside somebody else's body and known that is the nausea that you're going to feel. Like it's a weird self-doubting kind of thing. And then you read some stories about people that do have the symptoms, but they still have like a silent miscarriage or a
that was the one that got me this week. So we've both kind of had a bit of a mantra this week, that an individual mantra. So mine was very much like, nothing bad has yet happened, so therefore there's no reason to believe otherwise. Because in my head I was like, you know, we haven't had a miscarriage, so like you haven't bled. Like, well, we'll get to that, but up until today, so like we haven't miscarried, therefore she's still pregnant. That was what my brain was doing at a very basic level. Like, there is no evidence for anything bad, so let's just stay happy and excited. And that's actually worked pretty well for me. Yeah. Now, I've been quite busy and stuff, so I've been quite distracted, and I've been looking after you a lot. Yeah, you have. In a very nice way. Very well. Like doing nice things like making lunch. She's been permanently hungry. That has probably been the most common symptom.
And I would say it's weird. It's not like permanently hungry, but I'll go a couple of hours and not feel hungry, and then I will be starving. Like
maybe like 1.5 hours without not being hungry.
Like it hurts hungry, but I'm not eating huge amounts. It's like little bits. Yeah. That seems to be.
Well, I did really good this week. Like, so I made a lot of kind of snacky food, because we did buy a lot of crisps and stuff the first week, and you ate them all
pretty quickly.
Yeah. So this week I made fruit pots, like fruit salads. I made jelly pots. Yeah. I made roasted chickpeas, like spicy chickpeas.
Great. I like them.
What else did I make? I made like a big soup for lunches. Yeah. I made homemade brown bread, and you had slices of that with jam when you wanted it. We made sure you had like things like tea, peppermint tea, ginger nut biscuits, which I'm actually going to make some of them this week, because I accidentally bought like this much ginger. Like,
it's probably more than that, to be fair. She's not exaggerating. Yeah, I've never seen so much ginger unless it's been like in a restaurant or something.
Yeah, it was like ridiculous. We could have enough ginger for the next 6 years. So anyway, I'm going to use that opportunity to make ginger nut biscuits, but we digress. Yes. The reason I was saying this is because I have kept quite busy, and that has helped me. I feel a little bit more settled. It helps that when I talk to like my mum and my friends, they're all just like, get a grip, you're fine. Yeah. Like, this is normal pregnancy, you don't know for these weeks. And I have stayed off Instagram pretty much. Yeah, you've been pretty good. And I have been super distracted by buying cloth nappies. I'm not even gonna lie. That is honestly I have done research. I know what pram we want. I know what car seat that we want. So I did all the research on these things. I brought them back to Sheila. We discussed them. I haven't bought a pram because, 1, we don't know if it's a singleton. 2, we don't know if it's going to be a viable pregnancy, and it's too expensive. We're not going to buy a pram new. I'm now digressing again. But anyway, you wanted to hear a catch up. So this is a catch up of all of our rambling thoughts. We have found a pram that we want, and it fits the car seat that we want. We will buy the car seat new, and we will buy the pram second hand. So, I have really found that so enjoyable, and that has kept me really positive and distracted. The cloth nappies are like a rabbit hole that you can disappear down, and
an expensive rabbit hole.
Well, I've been okay. Like, this is me being good. I might actually insert a couple of photos here of what I've currently bought. So like I bought a few, right? And I've really enjoyed researching the different types of cloth nappies and what we might like to do. We don't even know if we're going to manage to do cloth nappies, but we're going to give it a go. We both feel quite passionately about it. So I might do a video on that at some point about my research on that. I'm definitely not an expert, but I could. If anybody's interested in that, let me know in the comments. But so that has kept me really positive and really happy, and I've been thinking about the nursery. I've crocheted another thing. We'll put a picture of it there as well.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's our thing as well.
We have a thing about llamas in our house. It started because Sheila bought when we first met, the dogs came with me. They were my baggage.
It was a package deal.
And Sheila bought them like a pack of toys. They had more toys at Sheila's house than they have ever had at my house within like a week of knowing her.
Poor dogs.
And one of the packs had like this rope llama toy. I'll put a picture
But we've still got it, yeah.
And I thought it'd be funny to like hide it places around the house when Sheila came. So she was always like, because her name is Emma the llama, and she would be like on the shelf, and she was on the Christmas tree, like poking her little head out.
She was also one of the things early on that really made us laugh.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole confusion when I started asking about Emma, and she pointed at the llama, and it wasn't the Emma we were talking about at all.
I have a lot of Emmas in my life, so when I say Emma, she just like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like it could be one of literally 5 Emmas. So I also named the llama Emma because I thought that would be funny to have another Emma. So anyway, you maybe had to be there, but
it was a real big moment for us. So llamas have now become our thing.
Yes, and we have a llama, like we've llama pictures around our house. I bought you a llama teddy when you first went away, the first time that Sheila went away from me, and she took it to New York with her, which was really cute.
Llama's well travelled.
Yeah, llama's more well travelled than me, honest to God. She's also called Emma. We're not original.
Any doubt about that?
Yeah. Baby names we like, but we'll not be using Emma. Actually, at the time of all this going on as well, a friend of ours had a baby and actually called it Emma, which properly cracked us up as well. So anyway, never mind all the Emmas. Why were we even talking about llamas?
Because you were talking about keeping busy because you've been crocheting.
Oh yeah, and I crocheted my llama, and I've already put a picture in, I'm sure. But it's so cute and so soft. So anyway, these are all the ways I've stayed busy. I've done much better than the 2-week wait. And it's been really good actually for me. I think because you're in your body, you're aware of it all of the time.
And stuff. And the nausea some days has been pretty constant all day. Like it doesn't really go away, and quite often it hits me at night time, and it's a bit like you asked me the day what do I need, and I was like, I need to be sick. Like I thought if I could just be sick, like because it doesn't go, it just sits there, you know. And
we've also heard that nausea can be linked to the pessaries, and Sheila obviously takes the pessaries, puts them in, uses them. Don't know what the right terminology is. In the morning and night. So, and it's kind of around that time that she's nauseous. So we're like, is that just linked to the pessary? And we can go down that hole.
But the reason that you started all of this,
go on,
is you'd been staying off Instagram by staying busy.
Yeah.
But that whole story started because we're going to talk about silent miscarriage.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
one of us has to stay on track.
Oh God, we'll just probably have to edit this out to death. Anyway, we're already at 17 minutes. We need to get a grip. Yeah. So what
was I saying? Stop rambling. Miscarriage. Silent miscarriage.
Yeah, but why was I?
Because
my mantra, nothing bad has happened, so let's stay happy. And then a couple of times this week, both on groups that I'm on, friends that I've made over Instagram who are in a similar situation or who have been like a couple of days ahead of us or a couple of days behind us.
Which I know I said stop rambling, but
you about to ramble?
That support from that community has been really, 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 really helpful for us, and it's made us feel like we're part of something else as well. So for those of you listening out there, thank you, and keep chatting.
And it's really, it's a funny one for us, I think. We're definitely rambling. As of right now, there's a sort of a like survivor's guilt because you kind of all enter the community and you tend to find people who are at the same level as you, who are all going through like embryo transfer or who are all going through like stims, and everybody's like connecting on Instagram with the hashtags, like finding each other. And we had a couple of people message us really lovely messages that like they'd watched our videos and they're helpful, and like that totally like I could cry over thinking about that, honest to God. Also, you know who you are. And if you don't, I will like tell you personally again, but I already told you. But yeah, so we have had a lot of like really positive support. But then as you go further and further down the line, some people didn't get a positive pregnancy test when we did, or they got a funny beta where we got a really good beta, or they have since had a miscarriage, or like there's just so many things that people start to like almost fall away at different stages. And we have been so lucky. Like everything so far has gone well. And you're kind of always waiting then. You're kind of waiting for something to go wrong because so many things can go wrong. And then you're also trying to be grateful that things are going well.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the people who have had a different journey to us, who maybe haven't been as successful so far, are still messaging us being like, let me know how you get on.
Yeah,
and like, I really care about your journey too. And it's so nice. Like, it means so much, I think, when people really get it and then they're still supportive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that example would be the
one of the couples shared with us that they actually had a silent miscarriage, and what that means is that this is my layman's term.
So just as some people call it a missed miscarriage, and some people call it a silent miscarriage. So.
Yeah, and it's when your body still thinks you're pregnant, so your body still is having all the pregnancy symptoms and still trying to grow a baby, but actually the baby has stopped growing. And then when you go for your viability scan at 8 weeks or 7 weeks or 6 weeks, depending on who you are and where you go, you'll find out that there's a problem. So maybe there's no heartbeat, maybe there's no fetal pole, maybe it's not
grown the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, something's gone wrong, but your body still doesn't know. So in my head, that totally destroyed my nothing's wrong, so therefore nothing's wrong. Like, we haven't bled, or you haven't. Like, that was how I was staying sane. And then I learned that was a thing, and now I just feel like you did help me because you told me that that's quite rare.
It is. Because I got a little bit concerned about it as well. But Mr. Google tells me or Mrs. Google tells me it's 3% chance. One thing said 4, one thing said 2.
It feels like
3, but...
a 50% chance because we're surrounded by it at the moment. As I said, 3 stories this week have ended in a miscarriage or silent miscarriage. So to us, that like all of a sudden is really common. So we had to keep kind of checking ourselves. It's the same way we got totally carried away thinking like, what if it's twins? What if it's twins? Because we're surrounded by twins in the IVF community. However, again, find out that it's actually 2% likely to be twins because we transferred 1 embryo. So that's not got a good chance. So it's unlikely to be twins. But yeah. Do you remember where we were before we digressed again?
We were just going to talk about the fact of like why your mantra then kind of fell away. That was kind of where we were going.
Yeah.
And like, I think for me, I've just kind of been like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So put it to one side, just keep resting, keep trying to be healthy, keep taking my tablets, keep taking the pessaries, keep doing what I'm supposed to do, because I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it is going to be what it's going to be. But then today I had a little bit of a wobble because I had some spotting this afternoon. Brown, which they tell you is good because it's old blood and it's no big deal and it's very common. But none of that, despite my brain knowing all of that, prepares you for seeing it. Like, I got a real fright. I had a little bit of a wobble. And now I'm a little bit like, don't know. Like, I literally don't want to move. I want to lie down in a cocoon for the next 2 days and then just go to the scan and hopefully be told everything's okay. But I know that's it doesn't make any difference. I know that there's nothing I can do right now that actually would make a difference.
No.
So I just have to accept that it happens to a lot of people and they're fine. And I just have to keep saying that.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what Monday brings.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to say that, isn't it? It's really hard to feel it, and that's what happened to you earlier. Like, I think even
the knowing isn't the same as the feeling at all.
No, because we both know. And actually, again, like, one of the things that's just not discussed is bleeding in early pregnancy. Like, it's really, really, really common. I can't remember the exact stats, but if I can find them, I'll put them in. But it's really common, and particularly in IVF, because in IVF you've got pessaries and extra hormones and things in your body, and everyone we know is talking about, oh yeah, that happened to me at 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and I'm now 30 weeks, 35 weeks, I've now got a 2-year-old. Like, it's really common, but it doesn't stop you from being like, that's also a sign that something's going wrong.
You also know that it could be bad. Like, no matter how much you know that lots of people have it and it's fine, it could be a sign of something being not quite right. So
we will find out on Monday. As I said, we will be 7 weeks. Again, in one of our lovely online communities, we asked people for some images of their scans around 7 weeks, because a lot of people had scans on exactly 7 weeks, and they shared them with us, so we kind of know what to expect in terms of like size, and it basically looks like a little blob, and in some pictures you can see the little stubs of like their like arms or legs. but that's it. So it's helpful to know that.
The biggest thing will be
heartbeat.
The heartbeat, the flicker of a heartbeat.
Because at 7 weeks, it should have a heartbeat. Yeah. It's very, very rare where it won't have a heartbeat, particularly if it's measuring at 7 weeks. And with IVF, we know we are exactly 7 weeks. It's not like, you know, with a natural pregnancy, you might be like, oh, well, maybe you're just a week behind or your dates are out. Like, our dates aren't out. So if there's not a heartbeat, that would be bad. So that will be our big news on Monday, and we will let you know,
of course,
afterwards how we get on.
Good or bad, we'll share.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, that's really it. Like, is there anything else we want to... Oh, there was something earlier that I was thinking of. Can't remember.
Put it in the next one if she does. Or in the comments.
Yeah. We have been asked a lot, like, why have you stopped doing videos, or where are your videos, or can you please do more videos, or I really miss your videos, or, you know, etc., which is so nice to hear. Yeah. But also, we have no idea what to film about because we don't have any news. Some people have asked us for, like, videos about, like, how we met, or, like, videos about us as a couple. I have hundreds of videos I would like to do in relation to, like, having the baby, like what pram did we pick and why, and like what our main buys are, and I would like to do a cloth nappy video if anybody actually cares. But until we're like safe in our pregnancy, we're a bit scared of that, obviously. But if there's any videos that you can think of that you would really like us to do, please let us know in the comments or message us on Instagram, because we would love to do more videos. We just don't, like, I don't know, we don't think that we're that interesting. We're kind of
surprised that so many of you are interested as it is, let alone when we're talking about stuff that isn't directly IVF related. So
yeah, when you watch that back, you'll hate that you've done that with your fringe.
Yeah, I'm in my pajamas.
We're always in our pajamas.
You're not. Oh, that's even worse. There we go.
I'm not in my pajamas today because I was doing training, but this was about as dressed as I got, which is this hoodie. So yeah. That is all of our news. Please keep us in your thoughts for Monday.
Yeah, fingers crossed, everybody.
Yeah. And we, as I said, we will let you know either way.
Yeah.
Thank you for following us along, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.